Hi everybody, it's Jenny from the Missouri Star Quilt Company, and I've got a great project for you today. Take a look at this quilt behind me. Isn't this fun? Now if you want to make a fast quilt, this is the quilt for you. This goes together so quickly because we're using big pieces. Now you know that I love the Periwinkle quilt, and if you don't know the story of that, there's a tutorial on the Periwinkle and how we got that idea, and we made it tiny. We made it medium, and now we've got this big stretched periwinkle that fits corner to corner on a layer cake square. And so this is super easy and fun to make. Plus, there were some scraps, and I have a couple of extra projects for you to see at the very end. So to make this quilt, what you're going to need is one packet of 10-inch squares, and we have used Indigo Gatherings by Primitive Gatherings for Moda Fabrics. And this is Lisa Bonjean's line, and she is so talented, really amazing. And you're also going to need some background fabric. You're going to need 3.5 yards, and that's going to take care of this background and finish off our other little secret projects that I've got coming for you. Your outer border is a 6-inch border right here, 1.25 yards. Your backing is 4.25 yards. Ooh, look at this pretty stitch pattern on here. So pretty. Binding is 3/4 yard. The quilt is going to end up being 68 by 68, and this is the size you're going to get with one layer cake. All right, so let me show you how to make this because this is really fun. Now you'll notice on my quilt back here, I only used the dark high contrast. So I took out these light ones. There's some really light ones in this pack. I just took those out and saved them for another project. They are not going to be wasted. They are just going to be saved for another project because I wanted really high contrast in this quilt. And so out of these other ones that were left, let me pull a few out of here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stack a few. This is a little bit too many. And I can move this down here. So there is about, let's see, 1, 2, 5 of them here. Cut whatever you feel comfortable cutting, but you can definitely cut more than one. So this is our stretched periwinkle right here, and we're laying it right on the corner of that 10-inch square. Basically, you're going to cut 2 sides, and so we're going to cut this way. And don't you dare get rid of these. Oh no, they are a whole nother project. And then this one over here, I'm going to turn this so I can cut this with my left hand. All right. Now what we want to do is we want to turn it back into a square by putting the sides back on of a contrasting color. So you're going to cut a strip into 5 inches, and you're going to get 5 inches by 13 inches is the rectangle you're looking for, and you're going to get 3 of those out of each of your 5-inch strip. So we're going to take those right here, and I'm going to sew one of these rectangles to both sides of my periwinkle. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take one of these periwinkles like this, and we are going to lay this. I'm generous on either end. So I have about 1 inch hanging over on either end, and I'm just going to start sewing here and sew right down the side 1/4 inch. And I'm not matching it up with anything. I'm just being generous. Then what you're going to do is you're going to iron this back over here. And I like to just lay this down here just like this, set that seam, roll it back. I want to make sure this is laying the right way. There we go. All right, now I'm going to add my other rectangle to the other side, and I'm going to start right here, lay it along the edge, and sew right down it. All right, now we're going to press this down. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to grab our 10-inch ruler right here, and we are going to line it up on the corner of our periwinkle. So this we know is the true square from the layer cake, so we're going to line this ruler up on here like this. Move these out of the way. I don't want to accidentally cut the wrong thing. So make sure this is lined up on the square, and then we're going to cut it back into a square. So I'm just going to cut right off the edge of this one, and then cut this across. And then I'm going to turn this, keep my square lined up in the corner. This 10-inch square is so handy for things like this. And then this is your block. So this becomes your block just like that, as easy as that. And then when you put them together, we're going to put them together so they all face the middle like this. So we have 2 of them done right here, and I'll show you how they go in the quilt. Pretty easy to see. Here's this. And see how that just goes into the quilt like that? And you're going to put 4 of those together. So I put 4 together in 3 rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 3 down. So there's 9 blocks like that. All right, so when you get all those blocks done and you get your quilt top assembled, it goes together so quick because basically you're sewing giant 10-inch squares. But we have these pieces down here that we're left with. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew the pieces of background that we cut off of our square. We're going to sew those to these pieces. So we're going to take 2 of these and we're just going to put them on here. Again, you can be generous because you have extra hanging off on both ends. And we're going to lay these on here and we are going to sew these down. So just kind of give yourself a little bit of extra at either end. And sew these down. Alrighty, then we're going to press this open. So now we've done this one. Let's go ahead and do the other one. All right, so the way I remember is skinny side to fat side. So they're just going to go together like that. On this one, I have to make sure I have a little bit less room, but they'll always fit. And we're going to square these up, so we're good with oops, I have a little piece sewn on here. Hang on. I did that instant ripping. All right. Now let me press this open. All right, so now we're going to square this to 4 by 9. So I'm going to lay this on here. This is the side of my layer cake square. I can tell because it's got those little pinked edges. And I'm just going to trim this off straight right here so it matches that side. And then I'm going to bring my ruler and I'm going to come over 4 inches using the edge of my layer cake as my line and trim this. So now this is 4 inches wide and I'm going to cut it down to 9. So right here, I'm going to straighten up this edge. I'm going to leave my long edge all the way. And then I'm going to count over 9, and I can lay my ruler like this. Put that right on that edge right there. Wait, you know what? I should line this up because this is going to look to you like I'm cutting it crooked, but I'm not. I'm using my ruler, but there we go. All right, 9 inches right there, 4 by 9. All right. So then we're going to do the same thing to the other one. So lay it right along here, 4 inches. We're going to trim it. And I love when we can use every little bit of what we're doing. All right, so 4 by 9. So put this edge on the 9 edge right here. Make sure that's right on there. Trim this off. I'm going to trim this little tiny dog ear off here, and you have 2 perfect rectangle triangles. Now what we're going to do with these is we're going to sew them together right here in the middle, just like this, to every pair. Now you can mix them up or you can leave them together. Either way, it doesn't matter, but we're just going to lay these right together. They're squared. They're going to go together perfectly, and we are going to sew these together, just like that. All right. So now we have, so once you get these ironed and all your little pieces together, you are ready for your bonus projects. So this first one right here, look at this table runner. Isn't this fun? So what we did with this one was we took 2 of these just like this and we just made a block out of them. We sewed 2 of them together just like this to make these long kites. And it just makes this gorgeous, you know, really stunning table runner. But there's more because there was more of these pieces. So I made another table runner and look how I laid these. So these are all going one direction toward the middle and they're all just sewn together like this. And you can see that they're all scrappy, you know, I mixed them all up. But how fun is that, that you get a table runner for you, a table runner to give, and a quilt. So we hope you enjoyed this tutorial on the stretched periwinkle from the Missouri Star Quilt Company.